I'm in England, back in England after what feels like a very long year. It's November. I just finished up shooting my first feature film project with Amazon Prime. I worked on it doing the social media content, so a bunch of assets, over 250 assets that have to be created with the talent, and yeah, it was an awesome experience. It's one of my favorite experiences actually. Very long, very painful at times with night shoots, multiple night shoots, but nowhere near as painful as it was for the main crew. If you don't know who I am or what I do, I have been creating videos over the past 10 years, and the past 5 years I've been doing a lot of advertisement directing and DOPing, shooting global campaigns. I was based in Berlin and now I'm moved back to England about 2 months ago. I looked at my notes and thought about what could I talk about and what could I share, because the reason why I'm doing all of this is to share experiences that I've had and to document my process and my journey as a filmmaker, as someone who strives to essentially direct or make films that I like. I've been thinking about the things that I would do different if I was to start again 10 years ago. Obviously, this is super biased and super based on my experience. And as someone who now lives off of making videos and films, you can't really call them films, advertisement films, for a living. Number one. Oh God. Yeah, I also have a 1-year-old, so this is me trying to make content with a 1-year-old because I don't get any other time outside of going on walks to film content. Which could be a nice segue into the first point, which is there is no perfect time to start making a project or making content. I started off making skate videos when I was really young, and then started getting more into the YouTube video space, and then also making recap videos for drum and bass nights and music nights. And there was always moments where I could just make excuses and be like, oh, I'm not feeling like making it right now, or I'm too busy, or well, I'm not prepared enough. And at that stage, right at the beginning stage, there's really so many things that you'll probably have doubts about. And I was like, oh, is this right? Does this look good? Is this professional? The best thing you could do is to commit to a certain number of videos that you're gonna make and just output. That's kind of my experience. Even now, just commit to a number and just try and push for that. Because what happens is when you set that commitment or you create that discipline, you start to realize, or I start to realize, that, oh, I can't be committing 8 hours every week to editing something. I better make this video more streamlined or more simple, just like this video right now. I can't commit to sitting down, setting up my lights in an office. I could, if I had an office. I don't have one. My conditions aren't perfect right now. I'm living with my friends because we've just moved back from Berlin. What happens then also is if you commit to one video a week, let's say, you start to find ways that you can be more efficient. You start to find that there's little processes or steps that you can take that are repeatable, and some things that you can cut out. And that is extremely valuable because that saves time. I would spend so much time just procrastinating. Honestly, I would be like waiting for people to come to me for projects, and it doesn't work like that. Which is a nice segue into the next point, which is if you want to make a certain type of project, then you will have to go out and make that at the start. No one's going to come knocking to you at your door, and people still don't really knock at my door for beautiful passion projects. They come for advertisement now, which I'm very grateful, through word of mouth and just through my network and through my Instagram. But at the start, my God, because I made excuses like, oh, I don't have the money, or there's not, I don't have the time, or there's not a cool brand that wants to do it with me, all this bullshit. And yeah, I really feel like this doesn't work like that. And so you could say you become quite thick-skinned quite early on in this industry, if you want to call it, filmmaking industry, because you get no said to you a lot of times, and you also have lots of opportunities that just fall through. And that's all part of the game, unfortunately. It's a very reactive industry. That's one thing I don't like about it, but the benefit of it is that you basically make pretty stuff and get paid a lot of money for it if you're doing it right. Another point would be, don't go at it all alone. I really try to go on this journey so solo, and I think filmmaking is a complete team effort, and it requires, especially at the start, a lot of friends, a lot of helpers, a lot of people passionate, willing to make something happen. I wish I had just got my friends together more and got more involved in local communities, or just got out there more, because I really was a bit of a hermit, and maybe my ego was too big to be like, have the vulnerability to ask for help. I'm loving how backlit I am in this whole vlog, but I can't do anything about that because I'm walking away from the house. Just another day in the English countryside. Morning. In this industry, network is huge in any business or any industry. Your network is really important, and your friends are really important. And something that I think a lot of people say is like, don't work with your friends. I completely disagree. Work with your friends. These shoot days are long and hard, sometimes 18 hours, and I'm not over exaggerating when I say that. And 5 days in a row, you're going 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours each day. And when you're getting back to your hotel, you're sending updates to editors, or you're making copies of your footage, you're charging your battery so the work doesn't stop, you're going through the shot list for the next day with the producer. It's intense, and if you can work with people who you really like being around, and your friends who you know you can trust, then that makes it really a whole lot more enjoyable. And I'm so grateful that I get to work with people that are so awesome and kind. Next one would be, I wish I had just shot more. Different variety, actually. I think a lot of people say, like, niche down, do these things, be really focused on one thing. Yes, to a certain degree. When something works, keep going with that. For example, if you're shooting gigs, you'll probably be, music gigs that is, you'll probably be referred around a lot faster if, when someone works with you, you ask, hey, do you have any friends who also want to shoot music gigs? And they're like, yeah, my friend's also playing this weekend, I'll let them know. And then if something's working like that, keep rolling with it. But also make space, and don't be afraid to make different things, because the way that it's working in advertisement, you might get a commercial for hair and you've never shot hair before. If you are in your second, third year, something like that, you can probably expect to get more requests more consistently from a certain type of niche. But again, don't stay stuck in that niche, because there are wondrous opportunities outside of certain niches. For example, to share something with you that happened this past year, I niched myself down for the past 4 years in fashion and lifestyle. Worked really good for me. But this year I started to go more, I consciously made the decision to go more into cars, and I noticed that firstly, the pay in cars was amazing. I deliberately made that decision because I knew that if you sell a car for 50,000 euros, chances are your marketing budget will be higher than selling a shoe for 150 pounds. And secondly, that the advertisement stuff, generic advertisement, it has the same skill set that is required from fashion and lifestyle. It's just a different product at the end. So that might lead me on to my next point, which is develop a strong skill set at the start. I wish I had just developed ability to shoot, so understanding my camera, how to direct and work with talents, and then secondly, how to edit. That's very important, and within that, editing is coloring, sound design, very basic knowledge of that. And then the third skill would be how to market my work So that's something that I completely didn't do, and that is why I failed for the first 5 years of my freelance career, which is, and by marketing I mean share your goddamn work, because I didn't share my work. I was just so nervous about it and felt too insecure about it, and really wanted it to be like the best thing, when the truth is maybe it's not the best work, but someone out there needs it. Someone out there might be wanting to solve the exact same problem that your videos created for them, or want the same aesthetic. So don't be afraid to share your work, and to share it frequently. No, like, a lot of us don't remember what we ate for breakfast yesterday or 2 days ago. So if that's the case, people aren't going to remember if you post something more than once, or if you keep talking about it. And if you look at any major company like Nike, VW, they're absolutely hammering out marketing. They have millions and millions for their marketing budget, and they say the same message for a very long period of time, so that you have multiple touch points. And a touch point is where you see the poster on the street. That's an example of one touch point. Then you see the ad before your YouTube video. That's another touch point. And after you've seen this ad like 10 times, then you start to go, Nike's got a new shoe out, maybe I'll click on that. It's only then that you start to realize and consider them as an option for you to buy your new shoes. Same thing goes with video and your videos and your marketing. If you're just sharing like one video hoping that someone sends you a request after you send it once, chances are you're not going to get a request for that type of video. So if that's something I could share, is to develop those 3 skill sets. The next thing is to understand your value. And by that, I mean, what is your video doing for the client or the agency? Is it making sales? Is the goal to try and make sales and sell more shoes? Is the goal to just have a beautiful video that's creating brand awareness, and so people look at the video and they go, wow, that's cool, that's beautiful, I associate Prada as a really cool brand, for example. And then you can really start to feel more comfortable with how you charge and price your videos. Make sure my son doesn't wake up.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Are you Nico?
Yeah.
I follow you on Instagram. So
No way. So funny. That was an ex-athlete who used to do athletics with me. We went and did a competition together 10 years back, I think. Such a small world. So I was talking about understanding your value. So what is the video doing for your client or agency? What's its purpose? As much as I wanted to, at the start, think I was some incredible artist, ultimately you'll get paid for providing value with your video. At the start, £30 I charged for once to make a whole video where I shot for an hour and a half, and I edited the video because I was just so excited about it and so passionate that I was like, I'll do anything to just make a video. And there's nothing wrong with doing that right at the start. I think it's important to create your portfolio and to make stuff you're passionate about, and to just, because no one's really going to pay you right off the bat at the start of your video journey, perhaps. But once you've made a few things, I can highly recommend charging a lot more than that. But the way to do that is to understand your value of what you're providing. And maybe at the start you don't work directly with agencies or with production companies. Maybe you're working directly with a friend or directly with a family business. And understanding the real value of what you're providing and the end goal, or the best end case or end outcome that you're trying to achieve with your video, that's going to help you. What I'm thinking straight away is, okay, so if I make this video, what is the dollarized value of this video or this campaign? What is this company going to earn when I make this video, or how much are they going to make from this video? That's what I mean by dollarized. This is something that Chris Do shares, and this really helped me actually, because it's just very logical and made me realize the value of my videos, because we're in this filmmaking world. We're probably quite emotional people. We lead with our emotions, but having this logic side and approaching it like this is very, very useful. So So what I would do is think, how much do they sell one of these shoes for? 100 euros they make per shoe, and they've got a 5k budget. So I would have to sell 50 of those shoes to pay back this campaign or this video. Do I think I could do that with this video? Because it's going on their global channel and going to be spread across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and on their website? Probably could. Very easily. So it makes me feel good about charging 5 grand for that video. And I'm trying to aim for, or looking at the value that is being earned or being received by the client in the end. If VW is going to sell just one of these cars for £26,000, then I don't feel so bad about charging 3k a day or 2.5k a day and then 4k for edits, because they just need to sell one of those cars. A belief that I wish I had destroyed really early on was the belief that I'm a sort of artist and I can't charge lots of money for what I do. Because these brands, I can tell you from experience, have a ridiculous amount of money. I have charged 17 grand for making 2 videos before in the comfort of my own home for a tech brand. And I can honestly say that it was probably worth it for them. They ran ads on it for 6 months. It was a global thing. My face was in it. And it's just the way that this is working is that you're providing a bunch of skills to them to make something that they can't do by themselves. You can be an artist all you want, but if you want to live from this shit and live well, you got to think a little more logically sometimes. This helps me at least. Until you get there, have some form of buffer or some side job. This is not speaking from experience. I did it the complete wrong way. I was getting some money, spending it on traveling, and then running out of money, then having to go back and live in my brother's kitchen. Allow yourself to build this gradually, this portfolio gradually. Of course, there was a fire lit under my ass, but it still didn't help because good things take time, and you'll have a 6-month to 12-month period between meeting someone and actually making a video with them, typically. Sometimes longer, sometimes 2 to 3 years. I've sent DMs to people or applications for jobs to people, and then they've wanted to hire me to do a project 3 years later. So that's just an example of how long it might take for someone to come around. And that allows one to negotiate better. It allows you to not undersell yourself because you just need to pay rent. And calculate 6 months to 9 months of living expenses. So let's say you live off of 2 grand a month, including your rent, food, everything, and then multiply it by 6 and just save your ass off until you get there. My final point, all of this comes down to your self-belief and from your self-limiting beliefs. There's kind of 2 ways to approach this. One of them is you just work your ass off to create an insane amount of evidence to prove to yourself that you are the kind of person who can ask for 3.5 grand for one shoot day. Or you do what I did more so was you realize, holy shit, I'm kind of living out beliefs that I don't truly believe in anymore. There's a scarcity mindset around money, and I have a terrible relationship with money. I had a terrible relationship with money. I really thought money was bad and people who were rich were bad. And I unfucked myself. And through hypnosis, deep hypnosis, and through therapy and these kinds of things, because I think it's really important to have a extremely strong relationship or good relationship to money as a self-employed freelancer, and to have a certain amount of faith and self-confidence in yourself. And none of that can happen if you're operating off of your subconscious limiting beliefs that have been implanted into your brain from when you were 8 years old or whatever. So yeah, that's just my final kind of thought. Take with that what you want, but I can honestly say the best investment, or the best back-end investment of my business was not some crazy software or some other new tool or camera. My best investment that I ever made into myself was to do deep hypnosis, to unblock and reprogram these self-limiting beliefs, and to do shadow work, to do inner child healing, and to realize, whoa, where have I picked up the broke artist narrative? And yeah, I never saw in my family anyone who earned any decent money from something really creative. Where have I got all of these limiting beliefs and things that are stopping me from asking an extra £500 for a day for shooting? I would undercharge and then struggle to pay rent the next month, and I would undercharge, struggle to pay rent the next month, and then I'd be just sick of it, and I'd go, why do I feel like I can't break out of this cycle? And often, 90% of the time, it was because I had a limiting belief that I thought, oh, I can't charge more than this, or my work is not worth more than this. And there's no amount of videos or anything you can watch to help you with that. That is a deep thing, a psychological thing, and a belief and experience thing that sometimes you just got to go through. He's laughing.